Hello folks and welcome back. Now, we have got data in our database, and with the great thing about databases is they can not only store data, but they can retrieve it and display it and filter it in all manner of formats. So, how would we go about doing this in Outlook? And I'm now about to quickly show you, I hope. So, firstly, how do you make a query, a search? Well, you go to Create, and we go to Query Design, leave Wizardry and Witchcraft for Harry Potter. And here we put players, okay, so press Add. And then that's all the tables we have to add. So let's close it. And a query screen should appear down at the bottom. I'll just put that up there so we can all see it. Okay, so say I want to display my players' first names, their last names, and their position. And if I press View, oh look, there we are. I have only got that data from my database shown. Okay, nice and easy. So now let's try and filter this a bit or modify it a bit. To do that here, guys, I go to the View icon and select Design View. Okay, which makes life a lot easier here. So firstly, I want to see all the players we have who play for, or could play rather, for England. I'm sure they will play for England one day, but not just yet in most cases, I suspect. So there we are. England is now in there. You can see the computer has automatically put speech marks or quotation marks around it. And now if I press View again, oh look, there we are. Only players with England in country are now in my query. Okay, so I can now save the query as England. And now you will see over on the left hand side, England has appeared under queries. So say 2 years time, I want to see which players who now play for the team are also able to play for England. If I go to the England query again, it will only show people in the current table who are able to play for England. Okay, which is, I think, a good start. Okay, so next, back to the players table. Say I want to see people who have made more than 25 appearances this season. How would I go about doing that? Well, again, I have to make a query. So go to Create and Query Design. Here we are. We're going to add players. And like last time, I will drag up my selector here. Okay, so we're going to have first name, and we're going to have last name, and then we need appearances. Okay, and say I just type 25 in here. Let's see what happens. Press View, and only one player has played more than 25 appearances. No. Here we see lots of players who have played more than 25. So why is this query showing only one person? And the answer is simple. If we go back to the top left and click on the Set Square Pencil and Ruler, which takes us back to Design View, we can see we have only asked for players who have played 25 games this season. More than 25. How do you write more than 25 in computing or maths? Well, you should know this by now. You make a crocodile or greater than symbol next to it. And now, if I press View, oh look, I've now got 5 players who have played more than 25 games this season. Okay, so that makes life much quicker. So let's just save this again, and I will save this as 25 over. Okay, so they've played over 25 games. Okay, now say I wanted to search for my midfielders. Say I wanted only to see the people who can play in the midfield. So again, I go back to create and query design, and I add players, and again I drag up my query boxes from below. And so I want first name, so I want last name, and I want to see positions, and I want to see the players who are midfielders, and I press view, and it's not worked. And I think, hello, I don't think they were, I think they're called midfielder, not midfielders. So there we are. And suddenly it says I only have 2 midfielders. And I think, what? I could have sworn we had more than that. And we do. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 midfielders. And this says I've only got 2. I wonder why that is. And then I realise something. I think, oops, no, small mistake on my part. I've only said midfielder as the position. I haven't allowed for defensive midfielders or attacking midfielders. So I've got midfielder attack and midfielder defender. So I've got defender with coming before midfielder and attack coming afterwards. So what I want, guys, is I want to show, firstly I'll show Will Nightingale, who is a defensive midfielder. So I want to show the midfielder with anything before it. How do I do that? Well, nice and easy. I just come back to midfielder, and before midfielder I put a star in there. And now if I run this, or press view rather, we should, here we are, Will Nightingale is there, and he is a defensive midfielder. Perfect. Okay, so now what about the attacking midfielders? How do we think we can find the people who are midfielder attacker? Well, again, we just come to the end of midfielder, and after the R we just put a star in there as well. And now if we press view, midfielder attacker all appears. So using a star means anything before or after, depending on where you place a star, will be returned. Okay, guys? So just quickly to recap. Queries can be used to search and filter data for you. Okay? And you can use them in Access by simply typing in a word in here which must appear. So say for England, we typed in England under country. Okay, you can do mathematical queries. So here, when I wanted people with more than 25 appearances, I just typed in greater than 25 and the number of appearances was in there. And finally, we learnt about searching for words in something. So I put a star on either side of my word, and now any field which that word appears in will be returned. Okay, so that is a simple introduction to queries in Outlook. I will leave you to the questions, and best of British luck.